welcome back to my channel where I play with inks, I write my books and do all sort of stuff with fountain pens, really. And you might know that I have started an ink log because I think my collection is at a size where, just to have an overview over them is good. So I have here a Traveller Company sized, sort of a normal TN sized insert by the Inked Pour that has like a slightly thicker paper with a dot grid, and so I have a few orange inks and a few pink inks, and I want to swatch them today. So I've already done my 3 yellows and I have 7 reds at the moment. Writer's Blood is the last one. You can see the video of me swatching them, and then I leave these 2 little guys blank and move into, I think we're doing the oranges first. And I originally thought I might do it as a rainbow pattern, but I thought, oh no, I'm just doing it like I want to do it. It's going to look fine either way. So what I'm using is, I have my glass tip pen and I will use the end for that. And then I have a Jinhao 82 that I've modified with a glass nib that is compatible with the Jinhao 82, so you can get them on AliExpress. And because this Jinhao 82 had a bit of a dodgy nib, I thought I'd upgrade it to a bit of a finer glass tip pen, because this one has a really thick nib on it, or like a point to it. And this is if you do like lots of swatching and you want to dry it, like have it dry a bit faster. That makes sense. So yeah, this is, I have some water and an ink rag, and then we'll get started on my 4 orange inks. And what I then will do is that I again leave a bit of space after the orange ones before we go into the pinks. I have 5 pink ones, so that will work out nicely, and we have like 1 left on a double spread. This is how I imagine it, at least. And I said I'm very aware that a ring system would work much better. For now, I'm trying to sort of swatch all my inks to give me more of a sense of what I have. I will at some point probably use a TN, like a monthly insert to give me like 1 spread for each color family. And at some point I might get my act together and move into a ring system. For now, I just want to swatch all my inks. And so we are starting off with Ancient Copper. One of the first inks that I bought, I think because I've watched quite a few videos, and Ancient Copper always came up as one of those inks that was beloved and almost sort of considered must-have ink. I'm not quite sure whether that has changed now. But I certainly really love it. It's Diamine Ancient Copper. And then with the water brush pen, I quite like to see the undertones, especially if you do like big headings and you dissolve the ink a bit. I think that looks really fun. So I just wanted to have like a representation of that on the page. The next one is Waterloo Sunset by KWZ Ink. And I bought this very recently, haven't had this in a pen yet. I really want to. And then actually, because when I swatched it, it reminded me of Autumn Oak. So we do Autumn Oak next. And like all KWZ Z inks, it has like a lovely vanilla-y cookie dough smell. I think it's more cookie dough than vanilla, to be honest. But yeah, I definitely want to check out more KWZ inks. And this is with the UK pen shows. Waterloo Sunset. And as I said, Autumn Oak. I think Autumn Oak is not quite as red, but maybe on this paper, I don't know, we will see. Yeah, it seems to be a bit more into the amber. What is this? Diamine. Ah. Yeah, mistakes are bound to happen. I made like a really big blunder on the very first page. And I'm trying not to beat myself up for it. I think that's all part of the of the lesson that ink swatching gives us. Right. So we'll let this dry and then I move on to the next page for the last ink in my orange category. Okay, time for my last orange of the bunch. And this is Orang Klingner Sanddorn or Sea Buckthorn, which is their special ink for 2025. I ammed and awed a bit about getting this ink, but Orang Klingner has developed into one of, like, I think my favorite ink brand at the moment. And so I thought the inks are very affordable, like compared to other companies. And yeah, I think I should support them and get the special ink. And it's actually a lovely summery orange. So I've been using it this July, and it's really, for such a bright light ink, it's really readable. Really enjoyed. I had it in one of the gin house and really enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely something I might revisit in autumn, though it's not quite a pumpkin. Oh, and I made a mess on the page, but we'll deal with it. That's fine. So this is cleaner. I'm calling it Sandton. And yeah, it's absolutely lovely. So for the moment, I think I'm like my hunger for oranges is quite sated. Have so from quite dark to quite light, and yeah, you see I left quite a big smudge here, but you can't really help it with inks. So we're now moving into the pink category, and it's a bit sad that I can't have like a double spread, but yeah, okay. So let me see how we divide up the inks. So I have quite a few punchy pinks and then a few more muted ones. I think we're going from the muted to the punchy. I think that might be a good option, because then although I could put let's put the muted ones on this page and then we have the punchy ones on the other. I think that would be a good idea. Right. Let's start with Diamine Cashmere Rose. It's from an ink vent. It's not a shimmer ink. At the moment, I'm trying to not to buy too many shimmer inks because I'm not sure why they don't always love my pens. Maybe it's the way that I use them. But yeah, I had quite a few blockages recently, so I'm not that. Some of them it's okay, some of them it's not that okay. Ink vent Cashmere Rose. And this is a lovely, very readable pink. Let's see if I can. Some brown undertones, I think. Oh, it didn't really stay in the lines there. Oh well, okay. The next one is Gerbans Rue d'Ancre, the Rusty Anchor, which is also one of the first inks that I ever bought because I'd seen it on Karina Loves the Plants channel and I really like it, but it's a tiny bit, or maybe let's say I haven't found a pen yet where it shows up for me in a way that I can use it for my manuscripts, because when I return to type it up, it's very hard going and my eyes are really not the best anymore. They used to be quite good, but now they're really not. You see, it's really quite light. Rue d'Ancre. And I've put this, the last time I had it in a medium nib, and even that didn't really work so well. I think also because I'm writing mostly on cream paper, you can see it's quite a dry ink as well. It's already quite settled in on the paper. It doesn't really dissolve much. Right, okay, and then the last of my muted inks, or muted pink inks, is Dream Ink, The Rose in the Yard. And this has a ton of shimmer, and I haven't really used it much in a pen. I had it once in a pen that didn't really work out so well, so I'm now sort of, because I want to ink it up again, I think I want to try it in the Mahjong Wankai, because that has worked out really quite well for some of the dominant dominant industry shimmer inks for me. So yeah, I want to give that a try. Maybe not ink it up fully first. So, but I love this sort of green tinged Dream ink. Get a bit more rose in the yard. Because I think with a smaller glass nib, you get a much better idea of how it actually looks in a pen. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Because with my really thick glass nib, it's more of an idealized version, really. So yeah, see, it's pretty quite dry already. Right, okay. I think what I'm going to do is to move my blotting paper and move on to the next page. Right, and this brings me to my last two ones in the pink category. I was really debating whether coral would belong in the red or the pinks, and I swatched it amid the reds and it looked so out of place that I thought, okay, no, I'm going to put it in the pinks, but I'm going to, on this page, I'm going to put it last. So Wistful Watermelon, it's a Diamine and Cold Pens exclusive ink in their fruit series, and this is quite amazingly readable for a light pink. I think because it has sort of a bit of a reddish undertone, but I love to use it in my sort of the Jinhao 82 dupe of the Sailor, I think it's Hachimanjiya Kubosakura pen. So it's Diamine and Cold Pens. Wistful Watermelon. And I appreciate that it looks almost more reddish on this page, but it is like the best color match for that particular pink pen that I have found so far. Just pull it out. Come on, don't. So this works really well with the finials. So for me, it belongs in the pink family. And the last ink for this video is going to be probably looking a bit out of place. I don't know where to put it, to be honest. It doesn't really go on the oranges either. So that's Diamine Coral. A while ago, I really sort of wanted to explore sort of more peachy tones. I don't think I have like the perfect peach color yet, but I really quite liked coral. I was quite astonished that I did. And yeah, sort of in between pink and orange, I suppose. Okay, yeah, let's let these dry and then I'm coming back to them. Okay, let's go to Ancient Copper first. And I really need to put this back in the pan. I really like the sort of the dark haloing that's going in here, like on here. It's almost a bit sheeny, to be honest, but it doesn't really come out usually. But yeah, I definitely want to put this back in the pan quite soon. Maybe August, September. September would be nice. Then Waterloo Sunset. I mean, these two work together pretty well, and is a tiny bit redder than Diamine Oak underneath, but they're sort of in the same ballpark. I love them both, and yeah, from the sort of from the dissolved color, I think they're pretty similar. Then Rowan Klingner Sanddorn, wonderful. It's not too much shading actually, but I think because it's such a light ink in general, it's actually quite good that it doesn't have too much shading, because then it might not become very readable. So it's fine. I like it like this. Then Cashmere Rose. I also have Diamine Wilted Rose, but I've decided to actually put this in the browns and not with the pinks. For me, that's really more for brown. This might be a pink, like a brownish pink, and Wilted Rose is more of a pinkish brown. So Rouille d'Encre, yeah, could almost also go into the pinkish brown category, but is a bit too light for that. So I think Wilted Rose is basically this, but darker. And then Dream Ink, you see a bit of the shimmer. It's not, yeah, it's not, I don't think you can see it very well on camera, but there is shimmer, and it has this lovely greenish grayish tinge to it, but it's still very much pink. And then we have Diamine and Cold Pens, Wistful Watermelon, and Diamine Coral. And Diamine Coral, from the swatch I would put it in the orange, but from where the water dissolved the lines, it's definitely pink for me. So this is why it's here. You might, you can argue with me in the comments. I like, yeah, from, like, if I did this, it definitely would, like the swatch would fit in the oranges, but I had a real difficult time placing this. So this is the decision I've made for now. I might be able to sort of switch it around later on. But again, this is why I'm doing this, just to get an overview about sort of what I have at the moment. I leave the last little body open for maybe another pink, and then I make a decision where we go with the moment. Like later on, I have still my greys, my blues, my browns, my greens to do, and I think I did like a teal thing as well. So yeah, I'll have a look how I can best divide them up and put them in this little binder, or not binder, little insert. But this is fun, also because with these swatching methods, I'm not putting down a huge amount of ink and they dry pretty fast. There's a bit of bleed through on this red one, but with the sort of lighter colors, the paper has held up really well. There's a tiny bit, as you can see here. But apart from that, I think it's fine. And I definitely will buy some more inserts from the Ink Par at some point. I think the paper's really great. It's really quite thick. So for stuff like this, I might not enjoy it as much for sort of daily writing. It definitely does not crinkle up as Tourney River paper does, but this is not what it's for in this insert. Okay, thank you so much for being part of my ink explorations and like me figuring stuff out in real time on camera, and then I see you soon.